Hey nerds, Gleemax here. Today we're looking at the best blue and white commanders in Magic the Gathering. Blue and white is known for control and slowing down games. With few options to ramp, it's often reliant on artifacts to keep up with our opponents. Blue-white has powerful answers and amazing card draw as well. Let's look at the top 5 Azorius commanders as well as key cards in a possible deck that they may lead. Before we begin, remember to like the video if you liked it and subscribe for similar videos. Alright, let's begin. At number 5, we have Sig River Guide. Sig is a 2/2 for a white and a blue with Island Walk. You may pay 1 and a white and target merfolk you control gains protection from the color of your choice until end of turn. Sig is an amazing commander. For an in-depth deck tech, I would recommend the Professor's video, which I have linked in the description. Sig is a merfolk commander, one which gives you access to the very powerful white merfolk from the Lorwyn block, in addition to all the other benefits of playing white. In fact, access to white gives merfolk some powerful effects. Stony Brook Schoolmaster lets you make 1/1 merfolk tokens whenever it becomes tapped. Summon the School gives us consistent token generation. Veteran of the Depths, who gets a +1/+1 counter whenever it's tapped, is also good, as well as Mirror Entity, which lets you alpha strike by pumping your entire team with its ability, and it does count as merfolk. But the one I love is a Lull Mage Mentor. The ability to tap a bunch of merfolk to counter spells is amazing, especially since he makes 1/1 merfolk tokens whenever we counter an ability. Commander Merfolk is fun. The sheer number of merfolk allows you to tailor your deck to suit you. You can go for an aggro list with Mistcloak Heralds and Lords of Atlantis, Master of the Pearl Trident, and Merrow Regery, or you can go for control with Glenalendras and mind control effects. Sygg River Guide is my number 5. Next up, we have Gwafa Hazid, Profiteer. Gwafa Hazid is a 2/2 for 1 white-blue. He's a human rogue. You may pay blue and a white to tap and put a bribery counter on target creature you do not control. That creature's controller draws a card. And creatures with bribery counters on them cannot attack nor block. Quick rules clarification: bribery counters do nothing if Gwafa is not around. I really like Gwafa as a political pillow fort commander. We start out by disincentivizing our opponents from attacking us. Propaganda, Ghostly Prison, Windborne Muse, and Sphere of Safety, these add mana costs to attacking you, which heavily deters opponents from looking your way. I really like Norn's Annex as well, which is fantastic because of how often your opponents will have to pay life multiple times just to swing at you. Blue-white gives us access to the best board wipes as well, from the uncounterable Supreme Verdict to Time Wipe and the standard Wraths of Gods and Cyclonic Rift effects. Guava is then played mid-game with some defenses up, and we bring out our commander to start making deals. Remember, his ability can be used instant speed. If someone can offer you a favorable deal, you can certainly bribe an opponent's creature to stop it from attacking or blocking, whichever is more beneficial. So Guava comes with a lot of defensive stuff. How exactly are we supposed to win? Well, Guava is the home of several alternate win conditions. Approach of the Second Sun is a 7-mana sorcery that, if you can cast it twice, will win you the game. It puts itself back into your deck and creates a hard 7-turn clock the first time you play it. Felidar Sovereign is much more straightforward and just requires you to reach an upkeep step with 40 or more life to flat out win. But my absolute favorite is Azor's Allocators. These guys are a 3/5 human advisor for 3 hybrid Azorius. At the beginning of your upkeep, you put a filibuster counter on them. Then if it has 5 or more filibuster counters after you put one on, you win the game. Whenever you take damage, you remove 1 filibuster counter from Azor's Allocators. Once you build the appropriate pillow fort, your opponents will be forced to sit back and wait till you get 5 filibuster counters and drone on and on until you eventually win the game. Gwafa is a fun commander if you want to sit down and politic your way through a game. He's my number 4. Coming in at number 3 is Hanna Ship's Navigator. Hanna is a 1/2 human artificer for 1 white-blue. You may pay 1 white-blue and tap Hanna to return target artifact or enchantment from your graveyard to your hand. This is blue-white's enchantment's commander of choice. Hanna gives us longevity, interesting deck building restrictions, and beautiful Therese Nielsen art. First, we want to fill out a package of enchantment enablers. Cards like Cloud Key and Starfield Mystic offer us a good good discount, while Estrid's Invocation lets us double up on any of our powerful enchantment effects. A fun include is Silent Sentinel, which reanimates an enchantment each time it swings. Constellation effects care about us playing enchantments. Sage of Mysteries mills target player when its constellation effect is triggered. We often use this to self-mill and fill up our graveyard to have Hanna bring the cards back to our hand. Mace Enchantress is great for added card draw, and of course we get Sigil of the Empty Throne, Archon of Sun's Grace, and a Johnny's Chosen. Finishing the game is often done with the tokens from these effects. Other finishers include Open the Vaults, which brings back everyone's enchantments all at once. Replenish does this for just you, but the card is very expensive. But a recently printed card, Dance of the Manse, seems tailor-made for Hanna. Dance of the Manse is a sorcery for X white and a blue. You may return up to X target artifacts or non-enchantment cards with converted mana cost X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. If X is 6 or more, those permanents become 4/4 creatures in addition to their other types. This is absolutely perfect for Hanna. We always use this to bring back as many artifacts or enchantments as we can, always ensuring to make them creatures as well for a instant army in a can. Hanna seems like a super fun build. I didn't want to get into a full Voltron build, but you absolutely can go down the Voltron route with Hanna. She's fun, she's strong, and is one of those seemingly boring commanders that has amazing deck building options. Hanna definitely deserves the number 3 spot on the list. At number 2 is Brago King Eternal. Brago is a 2/4 Spirit Noble for 2 white-blue. He has flying, and whenever he deals combat damage to a player, you may exile any number of target non-land permanents you control and return those cards to the battlefield under their owner's control. Flickery Ghost King is here to abuse enter the battlefield effects. Can I just say exiling any number of permanents is just obscene for a combat damage trigger? This gives us basically whatever we want. Card draw is handled with effects like Mull Drifter and Cloud Blazer. Ramp is done with Core Cartographer or Mana Rocks. Creature tokens are made by flickering Whirler Rogue or Mere Battlesphere or Thragtusk. And the removal, Sunblast for board wipes, Meteor Golem for pinpoint removal, Luminate Primordial for indestructible creatures getting exiled. Brago flickers them all. You can even have repeatable tutors with Trophy Mage effects or Recruiter of the Guard. There's a reason Brago is known for being so powerful, and that is simply the power of blinking effects. And we run a lot. Cloud Shift, Ephemerate, Eerie Interlude. These effects enable us to flicker our powerful enter the battlefield triggers at instant speed, and we double up with Panharmonicon and Strionic Resonator to copy those effects. But the absolute best card to flicker are mana producing artifacts. Having the ability to flicker a Soul Ring, a Commander Sphere, and say Gilded Lotus after already using them that turn effectively ramps us by 6 mana with all of them out, letting us hold up counter magic or continue playing insane threats. Brago lists are just so varied. Each one will have different effects and will be focused on a different thing. You can also go Spirit Tribal if you were into that. He absolutely deserves the number 2 spot on the list. And at number 1, we have Grand Arbiter Augustin IV. Grand Arbiter is a 2/3 human advisor for 2 white-blue. White spells you cast cost 1 generic less to cast. Blue spells you cast also cost 1 generic less to cast. Spells your opponents cast cost 1 more generic mana to cast. Do you want to play control? Nothing says control like a Grand Arbiter deck. We start by taxing our opponents. Arbiter adding 1 mana to each of our opponent's casts is just the start. Spell-Tithe Enforcer taxes for 1 mana unless they sacrifice a permanent. Dovin Hand of Control increases artifact, instant, and sorcery costs for our opponents, while also giving us the ability to tap down and 1 big threat a turn. Thalia, Guardian of Thraben, is a great go-to hate bear. I really like Udranith Magistrate though, which prevents your opponents from playing their commanders. Of course, counter magic is required and discounted by Grand Arbiter. Disallow can stop anything, unwind counters, and can potentially net us increased mana. Encrypted Command is a Swiss Army knife of hindering your opponents. I personally love Sphinx's Revelation, probably because of my time in Standard with it. If you don't counter anything on your turn, you simply draw a boatload of cards and pad out your life total. I will make this point though, please have a win condition in a deck like this. Don't run so many stacks pieces without a way of closing out the game. Yes, opponent scooping is a win for you, but it may cause some bad feels and you shouldn't intentionally do that. Be able to tutor out Painter's Servant and Grindstone or some other instant win condition to end the game once you have successfully stalled out your opponents. Grand Arbiter just seems to embody everything that makes control amazing. For that reason, Grand Arbiter Augustin IV is my number 1 Azorius commander. Alright nerds, that's it for today. Who is your favorite blue and white commander? Let me know down in the comments. Also, this list was shorter than my other 2 color combination list, as unfortunately blue and white lends itself to fewer archetypes than other color combinations. Most commanders can comfortably fit into the 99 of any other blue and white commander deck. I felt like an overview of 5 really good commanders with different strategies would be much better than an overview of 10 where they all felt really similar. Let me know what you think of this approach. Also, only 7.4% of my audience is currently subscribed. If you could subscribe, I would really appreciate it. Thanks, nerds.